A peculiarity of the strength of left foot should be visible previously. It's difficult to come by these days where the force of football focuses on cooperation over individual abilities. However, we can't reject that occasional individual abilities can be a benefit for a club when individual abilities are a triumphant and considered a match. We will see this in Roberto Carlos, who has a better than expected left foot strength. Each goalkeeper who encounters him will be panicked about how awful his left-footed shoot is. Roberto Carlos looks frequently like a free kick killer for his team. Alright, level companions, any place you are, we should plunge further into Roberto Carlos. Before going there, if you like this video, you can subscribe and share it so you don't miss intriguing data about the narrative of football player. Roberto Carlos. He's a left-footed footballer who hails from Brazil. He has the full name Roberto Carlos da Silva Rocha. Roberto Carlos was born in a village in Brazil named Garcia, Sao Paulo on April 10, 1973. Since childhood, he was very fond of football. The life of little Roberto Carlos is very simple. Her parents are farmers in Brazil. He was a good boy and always helped his parents in farming. So, the time to play football was very limited at the time. Hope for a noble football career was seen when his family decided to move to Cordeiropolis. There, Roberto Carlos more time to play football. Roberto Carlos' football talent was monitored by União São João's team, and he joined the team. Not long after, he moved to Palmeiras. At Palmeiras, Roberto Carlos is showing that he is a world-class player. His natural talent makes him inseparable from his duty to defend his country. He also became a subscriber to the Brazilian national team. Roberto Carlos helped Brazil in 3 World Cup periods, namely 1998, 2002, and 2006. Roberto Carlos' best achievement with the Samba team was winning the World Cup by beating Germany with a score of 2-0. Although he did not score in the final match, he was very active in helping Brazil's defense and Brazil's attack. The strength of his left foot makes him a left back specialist with a level rocket kick with a speed of around 170 km/h. Wow, it's really scary. Level friends, yeah, try to imagine this force hitting our hands or bodies. What happened might be an injury. The shape of the calf muscles and thigh muscles that are so dense makes the ball so light and easy to execute with Roberto Carlos' left foot. In 1993, Roberto Carlos proceeded with his football experience by joining Palmeiras. Roberto Carlos' great exhibition enthralled large European clubs until Inter Milan at long last purchased Roberto Carlos on 15 August 1995 for 3.5 million euros. While at Inter Milan, Roberto Carlos was really disturbed in light of the fact that Inter Milan played Roberto Carlos not in the frame of mind as a left back, but rather as a left or a striker. This made him considerably more inconsistent with Inter Milan's style of play. In 1996, Roberto Carlos chose to join Real Madrid for an expense of 6 million euros. He felt the magnificence of football life in the wake of being with Real Madrid. No obligation. Roberto Carlos enjoyed 11 years with Real Madrid. Madrid is exceptionally fortunate to have him, until the left back position that is on him is practically indispensable. Numerous accomplishments have been accomplished with Real Madrid, specifically for Spanish Association, 3 UEFA Champions, and 2 Intercontinental Cups. Roberto Carlos partook in 584 matches with Real Madrid and figured out how to gather 71 goals. It's wrong, Liverpool fans together that they assembled it with Real Madrid. Be that as it may, together their 11-year finished on June 19, 2007, after he consented to join Fenerbahce. The Fenerbahce team is amped up for the appearance of their reality star. Fenerbahce fans are extremely glad for him. In his memorable season protecting Fenerbahce, he figured out how to assist Fenerbahce with winning the Turkish Cup subsequent to winning Besiktas 2-0. Roberto Carlos scored his most memorable objectives for Fenerbahce on 25 August 2007. Roberto Carlos enjoyed 2 years with Fenerbahce. His agreement lapsed in December 2009. In 2011, he got back to the club he played for before in his profession, specifically Corinthians. We should check out the accomplishment of Roberto Carlos with the Brazilian public group. Roberto Carlos played for Brazil multiple times and scored 11 goals. The 1998 World Cup turned into the primary World Cup for him subsequent to playing from the very outset to the last match. However, was crushed by France in the last. At the 2002 World Cup, Roberto Carlos became the very first scholar's best option at fullback and figured out how to lead Brazil to become champions with a 2-0 triumph over Germany in the last. There was one second that disclosed the world football surprise due to a delightful objective that is undeniable, challenging for any football player to make, in particular Roberto Carlos' objective, which tore the nets of Fabien Barthez. During the debut match of the 1997 Tournoi de France on 3 June 1997, he kicked energetically with his external foot from 35 meters, and the ball twisted perfectly and hit Fabien Barthez's net. The objective was exceptionally tasteful and is associated with all-time football sweethearts. The blend of virtuoso and leg strength creates a work that ought to be valued by anybody. Players like Ronaldo and Lionel Messi can be guaranteed. How about we envision the reason why that could occur? Is it on the ground that the thigh and lower leg muscle claimed by Roberto Carlos are major areas of strength for so? Indeed, obviously, with a mix of activities that won't ever surrender. At the 2006 World Cup in Germany, Roberto Carlos left the Brazilian public group. Numerous Brazilian fans believe that Roberto Carlos' presentation declined the contribution came about the making of France's objective against Brazil, so they fell. We ought to celebrate and be glad to see a headliner like Roberto Carlos playing football. We can glean some significant experience from the manner in which he assaults, guards, and kicks the ball, particularly with his brand name Roberto Carlos. Ideally, this video is helpful for us all. What is your take on Roberto Carlos' story in this video? Compose it in the remarks section below. See you in the following video. Bye bye.